Imagine waking up tomorrow and realizing you no longer need to open a single app on your phone. No more tapping through screens, scrolling through menus, or toggling between a dozen different tools just to get through your day. Your calendar, your emails, your grocery list, your workout plan, your therapy session, all of it handled through one seamless conversation with an intelligence that actually knows you. This isn't science fiction, and it isn't 10 years away, according to some of the most influential minds in technology. This is 2026, and the question isn't whether it's coming, it's whether you'll be ready when it does. Act 1, the world we built, and why it's breaking. To understand why 2026 is the turning point, we have to understand the world that's about to change. The App Store launched in 2008. At the time, it was a revolution. Suddenly, a single device in your pocket could become a bank, a map, a camera, a game console, and a social network. Apps were the future, and for nearly 2 decades, they were. But here's the problem. No one talks about apps were designed for a world before AI. Every app you install is a silo. It doesn't know what the other apps know. Your fitness app doesn't talk to your sleep app. Your budgeting app doesn't know you just had a baby. Your calendar doesn't understand that you're burned out. We built a world of powerful but isolated tools, and we've been the ones doing all the connecting in our heads, manually, exhaustingly. Now, for the first time in history, the connective tissue is being built, and it's called personal AI. Act 2, what personal AI actually is. Let's be precise here. Because the term AI has been so overused, it's almost lost its meaning. Personal AI isn't a chatbot. It's not a smarter Siri or a fancier Google Assistant. Personal AI is an intelligent agent that learns the texture of your life, your habits, your preferences, your goals, your relationships, and acts on your behalf across every digital domain. Think of it less like a tool and more like a chief of staff. One who never sleeps, never forgets, and gets smarter every single day. In 2025, we saw the first serious prototypes, systems that could browse the internet, right? Code, manage files, draft emails, and hold multi-step conversations that felt uncannily like talking to someone who actually understood context. But 2026 is different, because in 2026, 3 massive forces are converging at the same time. Act 3, the 3 forces colliding in 2026. Force number 1, hardware is finally catching up. For years, truly, personal AI was a cloud-only game. Everything had to be processed on remote servers, which meant latency, privacy concerns, and dependence on internet connectivity. But the latest generation of mobile chips, the ones shipping in 2025 and 2026 devices, can run large language models locally on the fast private. This changes everything, because it means your AI doesn't just live in the cloud. It lives with you. Force number 2, the operating system is being reinvented. Both Apple and Google have made it unmistakably clear. The next frontier isn't a better app. It's an eye that sits beneath all apps, orchestrating them. We're seeing early versions of this right now, AI that can reach into your photos, your messages, your reminders, and your browser simultaneously to answer a single question. By the end of 2026, analysts predict this layer will be deep enough that millions of users will interact primarily with AI rather than individual apps, possibly for the first time in smartphone history. Force number 3, trust is reaching a tipping point. Here's a psychological shift that gets overlooked in most tech discussions. People are starting to trust AI with things that matter, not just trivia questions or recipe suggestions, but medical decisions, financial planning, legal questions, parenting advice. A 2025 survey found that nearly 40% of adults under 35 said they'd already used AI for a decision they previously would have taken to a professional. That number is accelerating, and when trust reaches a critical mass, behavior changes fast. Act 4, the death of the app and what rises in its place. So what does this actually mean for the App Store? It doesn't disappear overnight. Let's be clear about that. But its role fundamentally shifts from the center of your digital life to the back-end infrastructure of AI experiences. Here's an analogy. Think about how we used to access the internet. In the early 2000s, we typed in specific website addresses one by one manually, then search engines came along. And suddenly the website wasn't the destination, it was just the answer to a query. The interface changed. The underlying web didn't disappear. It just became invisible. That's what's happening to apps. Your AI will call upon them when it needs to, booking a flight, processing a payment, playing a song, but you, the user, will never have to think about which app is doing what. The experience becomes frictionless, unified, human. The companies that understand this are already repositioning. Developers aren't just building apps anymore. They're building AI-ready integrations, designing for a future where their product is a capability within an intelligence, not a destination on a home screen. The ones who don't adapt, history has a word for them. It's spelled BLOCKBUS. Act 5, the stakes and the shadows. Now, it would be irresponsible to talk about this transformation without acknowledging its shadows. Personal AI that knows everything about you is also personal AI that can be exploited. Who owns your AI's memory? Can it be subpoenaed? Can it be sold? If your AI shapes your decisions about health, money, and relationships, what happens when it's wrong or biased or manipulated by the company that built it? These aren't hypothetical concerns. They're the questions that regulators in the US, EU, and Asia are actively wrestling with right now. And the answers we get or don't get in 2026 will set the terms of this technology for a generation. There's also a deeper question about identity. If an AI is making micro decisions on your behalf all day, every day, negotiating your subscriptions, filtering your news, scheduling your social life, how much of your experience is still yours? At what point does personalization become curation? And at what point does curation become control? These are not reasons to fear the future, but they are reasons to engage with it consciously, to demand transparency, to ask hard questions, and to be an active participant in shaping what personal AI becomes, rather than a passive recipient of whatever gets handed to us. The turning point is now. Every technological revolution has a moment, a hinge point, where the old world and the new world coexist for just a brief electric instant. 1994, when the web went public. 2007, when the iPhone shipped. 2022, when ChatGPT crossed 100 million users in 2 months. 2026 is one of those moments. The App Store era isn't ending because it failed. It's ending because it succeeded so completely that it paved the way for something far more powerful to take its place. We're not losing tools. We're gaining intelligence. The question isn't whether this wave is coming. The question is whether you'll understand it well enough to ride it in your career, in your business, in your daily life. So stay curious, stay critical, and stay tuned. Because this story is only just beginning. If this video made you think, hit subscribe. There's a lot more where this came from.